Hello everyone, today I bring to you a very important concept in chess. There are many tactics, but one of them is forking. And what is forking? Forking is when you are attacking two pieces at the same time. Um, how many pieces can fork? Do you know? All of them, yes. All of them. The pawn, the knight, the bishop, the queen, the king can fork. All of the pieces can fork. So here I start with some simple examples. As you know, the king moved in here, and if you do not know how to coordinate your pieces well in the end game, you can end up something like this. And this is a fork. Do you see what the king is doing here? Let's say the king was here and it moved over here to d5, for example, and it's forking two of these pieces, the bishop and the knight, meaning it's attacking the bishop or the knight. So you're going to lose one of them, okay, if you don't have a defender anywhere. This is just in the general idea of I'm just isolating the pieces so you can see what a king fork would look like. And so here it's attacking two pieces at the same time, and be very careful where you put your pieces, especially in the end game, so that the king cannot get to you. And forking definitely will lose one of the pieces here. So here, the king can either eat the bishop or the knight. So this is one type of fork, and it is with the king. Another type of fork is with the rook. Okay, let's move it over here. And I can do, I can put any pieces here, but the rook is right over here. For example, it moves up like this. And what am I doing? I am attacking two pieces at the same time. That is what forking is. And you actually checking the king and attacking the knight at the same time. So in these things, the king has to move. There's the make sure he has a place to move, because if he doesn't have a place to move, it's a stalemate. So when you're forking and you're in the end game, make sure that when you do that fork, the king can move out of the way. If not, it's called a stalemate, that he has no legal moves. But here, the king can move out of the way and can move someplace else. And what do you have? You get the knight. Do you see that? Of course, you can have other pieces there. For example, you could have a bishop. Could be, and of course, you wouldn't be here because that would not allow. You would be depending on move order. So let's put the bishop over here. So we move up, and now you're forking a bishop and a knight. Okay, so this is what forking with a rook would look like. Or they could be reversed. They could be over here, for example, right? And you move, and you were over here. And there's a lot of this. Magnus Carlsen is highly proficient in finding. Every move is almost a double attack in that sense. Forking. You're attacking two places at the same time. And sometimes three pieces, like the queen. Okay, so let's get the queen over here. If you have let's say the queen was here and then moves over here. So it's forking. Like, you can truly see a fork here because it's moving in all these directions. And the more proficient you are at spotting forks, especially with your queen, look how powerful it is. You have three choices. You can either take the, the knight. Let me put something else here. If you take the knight, you're not going to be able to get anywhere there. So let's see if I have a pawn. Let's do a pawn. That's the better example. So I can either take the knight, and I can take the pawn, or I can take the bishop. So depending on the position and where you want to do this move, you can have you're forking three pieces because you have the queen. That's how powerful she is. So that is how you fork with a queen. You move it somewhere and look at how many paces it can fork. It means attacking more than one piece at the same time. Okay, so let's see what we got left. We have, let's go back. Let's have the bishop. Okay, the bishop can be forking a piece at the same time. Let's say it was here and moved to e5, and it's forking. Let's see. I'm trying to have you. Oh, well, you can see it's forking either this piece or this piece, then the rook or the knight. Okay, so the bishop is now also forking two pieces at the same time. Okay, be very clever, very clever. Forking is a very useful tool. It's different from a pin. Remember, there is what's called a pin, and basically you're not it's different. So I will be making another video about what pinning is, but it's another tactic. So the more tactics you have, the more you can utilize it to your advantage, like use the right tools for the right situation. It will help you win chess games. All right, so now we have the knight, I believe, is left. Let's see, the knight. All right, and this is interesting how it can fork. Let's see. Let's see. That's best. This is better. It has to be here. Okay. So I had the knight here, for example, and it's so much. It's a little bit harder to spot the knight. You got to be very, very, very proficient to use your muscle memory and place this on the chessboard and have somebody place the pieces and see if you can randomly find a fork. Just work on isolating these kinds of tactics first so that you have very good memory of what the tactics should look like. And from different positions, a lot of geometry here, a lot of geometry. So I moved my knight over here, and now I'm forking both the queen and the knight. So one of them is gonna be lost unless you have a way to block. The other opponent has to decide which one do they want to keep, and usually they either move out of the way or can block. And if they cannot, or they try to ignore this threat and do a worse threat like checking your king to stop you for a little bit, that's what they can do. But if they don't, then you have your pick of which one do you want to take. So that's obviously the queen here, because she's worth 9 points. Okay, so that is how. Oh, we have to have a pawn too, and a pawn usually has. Let's see. We have the pawn right here, and so let's say you're over here, and you move the pawn too, and the pawn right here is also attacking two pieces at the same time. Obviously, it is supported here by the king. Sometimes you need a support like that, but not necessary. So usually there's support too. The more you can support a piece, the less likely it's gonna be attacked. But here, for example, I was just showing you forking. So if I go here, I can either take the rook or the knight. Very effective. Use forking to your advantage and try to see not just the more you get proficient in your chess play, you'll be able to spot forks. And that's what you should be thinking. Checks, captures, and threats, but try to do it as a fork. Make this is a priority. This is one of the key tactics that grandmasters use all the time at whatever level. So thank you so much for watching today. And now you know that all the pieces can fork other pieces, and that occurs when a piece attacks two of the opponent's pieces at the same time. Okay, thank you so much. We covered all of them, and go out there and practice it. Thank you.